Welcome to the Rugby League Outsiders prediction video. This is the only prediction video on the internet that counts, in our opinion. My name's Craig.
And my name's Karl.
And this week we're going to preview the Challenge Cup finals. We're going to talk a little bit about the women's final. We're also going to talk a lot about the men's final. So quite an exciting week. I'm not going to be there. I'm doing some stupid event in Reading. If anyone's doing the Endure 24 and you see me kind of running around, then say hello. I will need people's support. But Karl, you're going to be there. How excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, I'm a big fat 10, mate. I can't wait. In the media box. Challenge Cup final weekend. Always love it. Better time of year this year. The sun's going to be out. Can't wait. And the two top teams in Super League going at it.
So whenever we do like a media box thing, we're always like keen to know what kind of food's going to be there. Like, what are you expecting from the Wembley media box, like catering department?
There are 2 meals on offer. That's all I know.
Is that what they've said? Is it?
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. Just be at Wembley and hopefully see a little bit of backstage of Wembley that we sometimes get to see, and just taking the whole experience really.
What I find interesting is you're like, I don't think I'm going to do much. I'm just going to enjoy the day and just get a feel for it. And I'm like, I know damn well you're going to find someone to interview. You're going to come back with a lot of footage and go, right, Craig, edit that. That needs going out by Tuesday.
Yeah.
So
100%, mate. 100%.
That's usually how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, so let's get into it. Let's talk about this the women's game to start with briefly. Obviously, I can't even pick a favourite. Can you? Have you got an idea of the favourite there for the game?
I think St Helens are probably favourite just because they defeated Leeds earlier on, didn't they, in the year? Only narrowly. They won the Challenge Cup final last year. A lot of their players have been there and done it. So I think St Helens are slight favourites in this one.
And what about you? Is St Helens your choice then?
I don't really have a choice.
Why? There's a prediction, right? You got
Oh, right. Okay. So you're right. You want my prediction? Yeah, of course. Yes, I think St Helens will win. I think Faye Gaskin will man of the match. Yeah.
Player of the match.
Player of the match.
Yeah.
Of course, yes. Yeah, she's having a great season. The team works around her really well. In the last game, she scored pretty much. She did score all of their points, didn't she? But Leeds have got some slightly younger players. Don't think they're quite... I mean, these two teams are the top two sides in the Women's Super League by a country mile, has got to be said. But I just think Saints will have the edge.
Well, I'm going to go Leeds.
Obviously.
Yeah, because, being a Leeds fan, I do think Saints pretty much the favourites on the day because of history and because of all that. But we know it's the Challenge Cup. And, hey, as the strapline says this year, expect the unexpected. So I think it's going to be a close game. And I think I'm hoping that Leeds come out on top. So so that's that.
Reason behind it, or you just got a feeling?
Yeah, no, I think my reason behind it is I think Leeds, they are building up to a really strong team, and I think they've prepared well from what's been reported on the old Leeds Rhinos YouTube channel. They're definitely getting up for it. I know Saints are as well. But they just seem to be making like the right sounds, and I think they're gelling quite well. I think they believe themselves. I think Lois Forsell believes in the group as well, and I think that's going to get them over the line.
Yeah, I think I don't think we can go any further really. I know it's Leeds women's team we're talking about. Obviously, the terrible news of Rob Burrow's passing this week. It's going to be an emotional week for Leeds Rhinos. Do you think that'll have any sort of effect on the women's side? I
think they'll definitely use it as
motivation.
Some kind of trigger for.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a motivation, but I think like a trigger for players to understand the gravity of what it means to play for a club like Leeds, and it'll definitely put them in the headlines. And I tell you what, so they're going to do the minute of applause at the 7th minute of every game that's at Wembley this weekend. Now that is just going to be an incredible moment, and for once, the whole stadium is going to be around that club in support of Rob Burrow. So what emotions that will strike in the players, I don't know. I don't think it'll be like morally or ethically right to use that as like do it for Rob. I don't think that's the case for them. But I think it'll have an impact on the players.
I think it'll. I think the whole weekend actually it'll feel very much like it's in support of Rob. I think the whole rugby league communities, they've really come together the past couple of years, haven't they? In support of MND, and I think it'll be quite an emotional weekend this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so shall we move on to the men's game?
Yes, 100%. So I can't wait for this game. I really can't wait for it. These two teams are the top two sides in Super League. Saints are up there, but these are the two exciting sides to watch, I would say. And watching Warrington's journey this past season is what really excites me. We always knew Wigan were going to be up there. From the start of the season, everybody saw the signings that Wigan had made. They saw the team that they had. They're coming out of the back of the grand final last year. So everybody always knew Wigan were going to be there. But then Warrington this year have been so exciting to watch.
Yeah, you're right. It has been a journey. We have seen them evolve into real contenders. You know what I mean? I know they've been up there, top of the table, or expect to be for a few years. But, there's always been that.
Well, they weren't last year. Well, they fell away big time last year.
No, and this is what I'm saying. But they've, at the final post, they've fallen. This year, they've evolved into a very, very credible, very exciting contenders for all trophies.
Yes,
not just the Challenge Cup.
Yeah.
So and to watch them play is really exciting. It's a team that, I think when you look at it on the outside, you've got like the likes of Wigan Saints. Now, you and I are never going to support Wigan and Saints. We're never going to. But I can have a little place, not in my heart so much.
For Warrington.
For Warrington, yeah, because they're not Wigan and Saints.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and I think, I think other people are getting behind them because of that as well. You know what I mean? So,
And we've said it on previous shows, haven't we? It is Warrington. But people like to, there's characters that people like to support, and everybody's a fan of Sam Burgess.
Yeah.
And I think the fans and neutrals are kind of riding on that. And I'm sort of fully embraced in watching what Warrington are doing at the minute. Yeah,
so obviously we had the Challenge Cup final pre-run.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
At the weekend as well, and it was a very, very narrow victory by Wigan. And I wouldn't say that any particular team outclassed the other team. It was very close.
It was a win for Wigan, but it's been described by Sam Burgess and in many of the press, it was actually it was a win for Warrington, because they put a lot of young players in there making their debut. If you put those two sides on paper, you would have expected a larger win for Wigan. And I know none of this plays any part in it, but it very much felt like a win for Warrington, that did.
It's definitely a psychological scalp for Warrington.
Yes,
I mean, we spoke about it in our last prediction video, and it was like, I don't think Sam Burgess has got it in him. I've got to say now, I was completely wrong. You know what I mean? And I completely get it. But what I did like was both coaches just seemed to be doing it for the right reasons, like the thought behind it. I loved listening to Matty Pete. I think he's an absolute class act, and the way that he described the fact that they had the team in mind, but individuals were considered. So some players he feels are better if they keep, if they continue to play. Other players, the biggest example, Liam Farrell, could do with like a week's rest, because he's been there, done it, and seen it multiple times. That was really interesting. But then for him to win just by 1 point, was massive. But yeah. So there's that. However, I think there's players in the Wigan camp that are used to this big game. I think Harry Smith has already got his drop point boots on because he practiced it at the weekend.
Yeah.
He knows he can pull it off. Well, that drop goal more or less come from nowhere. So, that That was awesome just before the halftime, the halftime there. And so, yeah, anyway, a long way of saying what a freaking exciting game this is going to be at the weekend.
Yeah, and do you know what I thought was really interesting about last weekend's game? Just going back to it, both coaches pretty much didn't acknowledge that it was a Challenge Cup dress rehearsal. They kind of just sort of treated it as like, yeah, it's another game, but we're not really thinking about the final yet.
Yeah.
Clearly they were, because that's why they made changes to the sides. But yeah, it was interesting how they sort of it was just a standard, treat it as a standalone fixture in the Super League. But yeah, looking at that game, Warrington came out on top because Wigan have lost 2 players from that game.
Tyler Dupree was just smashing everything on the pitch, like literally, and that's one of the reasons why he's banned. But he was on fire, definitely. Playing for his position at the final at the weekend. Adam Kieran has been lightning. He's kicking. You look at his kicking record this year. He's up there, if not, I think he's like 3rd in the kicking on the points league or whatever for his kicking right now. And so massive misses. Whereas Warrington they lost your mate Matt Wood, but otherwise they're pretty unscathed, aren't they? And almost George Williams was protected. I mean, he's pretty resilient, but he was almost protected by getting the ban. And
I don't think he'd have played. I don't think he'd have played him anyway.
Do you not think so?
No, I don't think he'd have played him. No, I don't think he'd have played him.
We'd never know. We won't
ever know. But I just think.
Well, maybe next time we see him, we'll ask him. Right. Either George or Sam. We'll ask him and see. Right,
so we've got to start nailing our colours to the mast here, and we've got to make a decision on who we think is going to win this final.
Fucking hell, I've not even done that. I've not even thought about who's going to win yet.
Well, it's predictions episode.
Yeah, I know, but I've not put thought behind it. I've just been thinking about the run-up to it and the story and, and all that. All right, let's go for it.
So I think there's two things at play here. So Wigan, they know how to win big finals. We know that. They've got a lot of players in this team who've been there and done it. They've actually won the Challenge Cup before. But
Well, of course they've won the Challenge Cup before. You mean against Warrington?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Wigan last won the Challenge. They didn't win the Challenge Cup last year, Wigan. It was the year before.
Yeah, I know, but you just said they've won the Challenge Cup before. Well, they have, haven't they?
No, I mean actual play. Yeah, actual players in that side.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, there's players in that side who've won the Challenge Cup,
winning the cup.
They know how to win at Wembley, and all the rest of it. And I think Wigan are going to win the league this year. But I just think Warrington have got something in them. They can pick up one trophy this year, and I'm.
Well, you've said this for a few weeks.
I think they'll win this weekend at Wembley.
Well, I mean, I think there's a few people thinking like that. You've only got to look at the strapline that the Sky have gone with. The marketing department's gone with.
That in Sky. That's the RFL strapline. I think.
Yeah, I've said expect the unexpected. It was like, well, what's the unexpected? Because you know what I mean. What you're basically saying is, Warrington might win, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
That's what I interpret.
Yeah, that's how I read it.
Yeah. So, interesting. Right, I'm going Warrington as well.
All right, okay, double.
I think they were just the class, and they've been class for a couple of weeks. They were. I thought the youngsters were just some amazing bright stars. I love the fact, and I never thought about this, that they're creating depth in the club by having this youth system that they're trying to create, modelled on Wigan. From what we see. So. I'm going to back Warrington as well. Just another question though, who do you think are potential runners for the Lance Todd Trophy?
Right, I like Warrington's spine. So Drinkwater, Williams, and then you've got Dufty out the back. I think it's going to be one of those three. I'll probably go in. I think Dufty's going to score a couple of tries, and I think he's going to take Lance Todd Trophy.
I think they're going to do so much work on Matt Dufty that he ain't fucking getting anywhere.
True. But if you run the shape correctly, which is why Warrington have been so successful this year, you only need to give him half a yard. He's like Tompkins was. Back in Tompkins' golden years, you need to give him half a yard, and he's through that gap. And if they get them shapes right, that's why I think that sort of spine is so important to Warrington. And even with how good Wigan's defence is, I just think, he's my tip for Lansdowne Trophy winner.
Well, I'm Warrington as well, and I'm going to go George Williams. I think he'll absolutely boss the game. I think they'll try and tie him down and wrap him up. But if they do that, I think they're going to make space for Matt Duffy, and he's going to tear him up. So if Warrington win, I think it'll be George Williams that gets the Lansdowne Trophy. If Wigan win, I'm going to go Harry Smith. I think it will boil down to strategic kicks.
Half-back show.
I think so, yeah. And kicks. I think kicks are going to make the game. Like some of Harry Smith's kicking at the weekend was just phenomenal. He kicked his 40-20. There must have been like 6 inches, in it, and he just looked like he was like kicking balls to his mates down the park.
Yeah, a 40-20 could make or break this final. It's going to be so tight, isn't it?
It seems to be, other than back-to-back penalties, it seems to be the biggest momentum shifter in a game right now.
Yeah, so I agree with you. Harry Smith, yeah.
Okay, right, just a little one more talking point. So, right, last time Wigan faced Warrington, okay, so it was 1990, right, 14 years ago. Fucking hell, can you believe that? 1990.
Yeah.
The crowd was
77,000.
Almost 77,700 and freaking something.
Yeah.
What's your prediction on the actual size of the crowd for the weekend? I know it's hard. It's hard to
I wonder what the crowd was last year.
I don't know.
There's a few factors in play here. Warrington are going to take loads. Wigan are going to take loads.
Well, Warrington have been packing out the stands for the last few weeks. Yeah. They've been building up to this. Like they took a load to Catalan, so you're right. They're taking a shit ton of fans down there.
I'm hoping Leeds are going to take a load of fans. Just Saints, hopefully, as well within the women's final, and then you've got. On top of that, you've got Wakefield playing Sheffield. Now, Sheffield doesn't have a huge fan base. But I tell you what, Wakefield, I saw them at Odsall a few weeks ago. They brought busloads of people. So it could be a decent crowd. It will be a decent crowd this year. I don't think it'll look sparse and empty on TV. I don't think there'll be 77,000 there. I don't think those days have gone. But 60,000 plus?
No, that's a massive crowd, isn't it?
Yeah,
massive crowd.
If we can get that, it'd be incredible.
Yeah. Okay, so to wrap up that prediction video, so we've both gone. Well, you've gone Saints, I've gone Leeds for the women's game.
Yeah.
To spice it up a little bit, and then we've both gone for Warrington. We think it truly is their year this year. Karl, any final words?
Yes, quick bit of trivia that people can comment. So, Warrington Wolves played in the Challenge Cup final replay in 1954. What was the crowd? It was at Odsall Stadium, by the way. One of the biggest ever rugby league crowd in the UK. What was the attendance?
What year was that?
1954.
So a little bit 2 years before you were born, wasn't it?
Oh, funny.
Okay, that's been our prediction video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment and share with your friends that you think will be interested in this. So until the next video, take care.